Well, look at this. Can you believe a difference of 2 weeks, no more snow on the ground, and it's actually kind of warm, so we decided to come out here and put this Land Cruiser back together. I decided I wanted to follow through with some advice. It might be something external. It might be this. It might be that. So what we decided to do is to put this engine back and see if there isn't anything at all external that might be the cause of that loud knocking noise. Hey, so Jerson, what do you think it is?
Piston.
You think it's a piston?
Yeah.
I think it's the rear end.
I think it's getting old.
It's just getting old. All right, so you think we're ready to fire it up?
Yeah.
Now here's what we got. We got people who think it's something in the engine accessories. Maybe a bad bearing. Well, a couple people thought it was the counterbalance pulley. The crank pulley was loose and banging like that. So another guy thought maybe it was a bad injector, but I'm kind of thinking, nah, maybe not a bad injector. So anyway, what we should do, here's what I think. You tell me if I'm crazy or not. I think we should take the belts off.
Nah, just cut it off, man.
Cut them off?
Just cut it off.
Who cares? You cut the belts off and we'll fire it up, okay? Get something to cut those belts off with.
Let's do it. It is the belt fix.
All right, there's your belt cutter.
Oh, boy.
So this is the test, everybody. Look at there. There's one belt.
One belt.
Okay. If the noise goes away, I have to eat crow. Number 2.
That's how you fix your belt.
Okay. That's how we determine whether or not it's accessory noise. You ready? Let's fire it up. Whoa! I don't think it's a belt. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, we kind of eliminated that potential problem. Now, where are you hearing the noise right now?
Maybe the number 3 and number 4 piston.
Well, let's do another test now.
Just start it up and just put your finger right there or your hand on top of it.
You want to try to put your hand on top of it?
See what happens.
What if we pull the ignition wire? Take the load off that piston.
We can do that too.
We can do that because if
let's
we...
try that one first.
Okay, you put your hand and see if you can feel it, all right? Don't get your hand burned. It's not hot. Oh man, that sounds bad.
Do it again. No, you cannot feel anything.
You cannot feel anything. All right.
No. I'm gonna take the number.
Can you reach number 4 there?
Yeah, I can reach.
All right. Hold standby.
Well, you gotta do the number,
All right.
number 3.
Okay, you're going to do number 3. Loosen it up, and we'll see if there's a pitch change in that knocking. All right, you can get 3. Can you get to 4 underneath that intake hose?
Might be gonna be hard if I move. I'm gonna be very little because this on the way. So.
Maybe we should start with number 4 first.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm going to fire it up, and then you pull it, and let's see what happens. Aren't we having fun today? No change. No change in the noise. Okay, try number 3. Maybe it's the air filter housing over there. What do you think? Try 5. I don't think it's up here. You can tell we're getting a pitch change from the engine missing, but we're not getting much change in the actual knocking. Now, number 2. No?
No, it gotta be.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's that rear end, like I told you earlier. Maybe it's the brake master cylinder vibrating. We hope for a miracle here,
I
right?
think it's the GR valve, you know. Too much gas is in there.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
I think we need to get back to work.
Which end?
We're not making any money out
Ain't
here.
anything here.
So anyway, I don't want to have to open up the engine. Show me what you just found there. Oh, the vacuum hose is loose.
Maybe that is the
Maybe that's the
problem.
problem. You can see
We'll fix it.
we're losing it here. We're losing it. So, in all seriousness, what do you think our best option here is? Maybe find another Land Cruiser with a good running engine in it?
Put a diesel engine in.
Put a diesel? Now, somebody said to put a 617 turbo diesel in, but what would be the problem with that?
Modification.
No. Speed.
Speed.
This is a very heavy car. You wouldn't be going up any mountain roads. And that's what I want to use this for. I really want to use this up in the mountains. So I don't want to put anything in it that has any less power than this engine here, because this engine here is not noted for its rapid acceleration.
Let's put 240D.
Oh, 240D 4-speed. Okay. Well, we won't give up on this engine just yet, but if it looks like we're going to have to open it up, somebody out there make me an offer, okay? Well, it's Monday morning and we're back at it. You can see that we're outside again. Now, I wasn't planning on working on this Toyota today, but literally it's going to be like 70 degrees. So we're kind of excited to get out here in the sun, get a little vitamin D, and have some fun with the Land Cruiser. Now, earlier we did a couple things. Okay, we did some more testing. We ran the engine, we did some listening, we drained a little bit of the oil to inspect the oil, and so far nothing conclusive. But I'll take you back to what we did earlier, and then I'm going to explain what we're doing now. So what do you think using that screwdriver trick?
Well,
What did you hear anyway?
You can hear if you point it right to your ear, you know, and the spot where the pistons is, you know, the difference.
Where
Each
did
one,
you,
I hear that between the number 3 and the number 4, more knocking.
Yeah, and that's what you said yesterday.
Yeah, but I went underneath and I used the same technique, and I hear the same spot in the middle, right, lined up with the number 4, number 3.
You're saying you could hear it louder in the middle of the pan?
Yeah, I can hear it louder in the middle of the pan. That means the piston ring, you know, we travel in and out, it hitting the wall on the block.
So you're pretty convinced that
I'm
it's
pretty convinced.
not going to be a rod bearing, right?
No, it's not
where
gonna
you're
be.
going to put your money?
I think so.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do now, let's drain the oil out and look at the oil. And then I think we'll come back and do a compression test and get that borescope down inside the cylinders. Do you think we ought to try the microphone or the camera?
Well, you should put just the microphone, you know, very low volume on the microphone, and just go at each piston, and then when you put it in the computer, you will see it. You're going to notice the difference in one another.
So what we decided to do, and you can see it right there, we hooked the microphone to a screwdriver. We're going to touch the screwdriver against the engine while it's running, and that'll transfer that noise up to the microphone. Let's see if that gives us any better indication where the noise is coming from.
This piston number 1, piston number 2, and this lined up, piston number 3.
Okay, I got Jerson back under the car, and he's going to try to see if he can listen further up along the side of the block, but he can't reach it with a screwdriver, so we're going to give him the stethoscope and let him use that and get that probe up high on the cylinder block and see if he can isolate that noise a little bit more. You can tell we're really having some fun today. If the weather weren't so nice, we certainly wouldn't be doing this outside today.
Okay, turn it off.
And then now we've decided there's going to be 3 more things we're going to do today on this Land Cruiser before we have to get back to work. And that's number 1, we're going to pull the plugs. We're going to inspect the spark plugs. I'll bring the camera in close and show you what these plugs look like, see if any indication of what might be going on inside that engine. Then we're going to do a compression test, a very quick compression test, and then we'll bring out the borescope and go right down inside the engine and see if we can see any damage to the cylinder walls or the top of the pistons. And if that's inconclusive, then we're going to do one more thing, and that's we're going to pull the metal part of the pan and start checking rod bearings. Let's take a close look at these spark plugs. They were removed in order, so number 1, look at how clean that's burning. That looks really nice. You know, there's no carbon or soot from excessively rich mixture. It doesn't appear to be burning oil. Number 2 also looks good. Number 3, the same. Number 4, a little bit more sooty, but still very acceptable, looking very nice. Number 5 looks good. And number 6. Now number 6 has a little bit more soot on it, but these plugs look like they're burning just fine, and there's no indication I can see that would indicate what the problem is related to that engine knock. Okay, you ready on number 1? What do we got?
140.
Ready on number 2? Ready on number 3?
This is 160.
Okay, I'm going to write these down. Ready on 4?
$160.
160. Okay. All right. Number 5.
$160.
160. You know, the compression's a little weak on those first couple, but there's no indication so far of any problem with the valves. I think probably number 6 is going to be more of the same. What do you got?
140.
140. So we had 140, 140, 160, 160, 160, 140. I drained about just under a quart of oil out in this very flat stainless pan, and I can tip it like this, and I'm not seeing any metal particles, no copper or silver specks at all in this oil. So we just realized it's 1 o'clock and we're going to have to stop right here. You know, he wants to do this borescope test now, but you know, we got to get back in the shop. So we're going to call it quits. Now I know I told you there were 3 things, but there were actually 4. So we're going to cut it at 2. So I'm very sorry, but we're going to have to postpone the results of the borescope test. And once again, if we don't find anything conclusive with that, we're going to have to go underneath the car and pull that oil pan off. So stay tuned for the next episode.